Hello and welcome to this demo video. Before we get started, I'd just like to explain to you a few things which will relate to all of the basic range spreadsheets. Number one, there is a key on the intro and setup tab of all of the spreadsheets showing what the different color headers mean. The blue headers mean that the cell's formulated, so it's locked and you can't change it. The yellow headers are where you can input data, and occasionally there might be some gray headers, which is just a different kind of data input, but we'll include instructions as and when that happens. The other thing that you can be aware of is there are ways in which you can damage the spreadsheet. So please do take a look at the link where you see this image, which will take you to a web page to show you how to better preserve your spreadsheet. Please feel free to keep a blank version of the spreadsheet somewhere, so that if you do mess up a spreadsheet that you're using, you can in fact just open a new one, a blank one. And some of the spreadsheets only last for a year, and then you've got a blank one to start the following year. So do keep a blank copy as a backup somewhere. And lastly, wherever you see this image, you can click on it. It'll take you back to the store where you purchased this product to see if you've got anything, any more products. One last thing, to see a demo video, you can click on this on a link that looks like this in order to go to the demo video, but that'll take you to the most recent demo. If in fact we've done upgrades and you're using an older version and you'd like to see the demo relating to your version, then do click on the watch on YouTube link, which will take you to that specific video on YouTube. So I think that's all you need to know. So without further ado, let's move on to this demo video. Thank you.
Hello and welcome to the demo video for the networking referral database. Now, this is a spreadsheet that's been on the website for a while, but it's been under the free download section, and I've just revamped it to go into this basic range section. So I'm doing another demo video. So this is the new version of the spreadsheet. So let's have a look and see how it works. Intro and setup page as normal. You can put your business name in here, your personal name. This doesn't go anywhere else other than on the spreadsheet. In this case, it does go to a referral sheet, which you can save as a PDF and send out. We'll get to that. But it doesn't leave the spreadsheet unless you save something as a PDF and send it. Referral filter. I'll get onto that in a sec. And networking sources. Referral filter. When you get to the referral sheet where you can actually select the company that you want to refer, you would have already gone through a category search. So once you've gone through a category search, that will pull up all the people that are relevant. So for example, if you're looking for an accountant and you select accountants, it's only going to pull up those that you've labeled as accountants, and that will be the category search. So if its default is set to the category search page list, so only people who have been determined as potential options to refer will show up when you get to the referral sheet. If you want everybody to show up, just come here and change it to complete list. Then everyone will show up in the drop down list. But it stands to reason that you'll go through the process if you want to refer, in which case it just shows the people on the category search page list. Networking sources, you can put in any networking groups you go to. There are spaces for 10 different options up here. So really what you'll do is each time you capture someone's details, you put in where you met them, and then you'll be able to select one of those networking groups. So you can put in your networking sources there. Just don't put in any duplicates, but put in whichever options you need. Last but not least, the newsletter code. If you put in a newsletter code, there's a 4-digit code when you sign up to our newsletter. If you put that 4-digit code in the newsletter code, it will open up this page of statistics, which we'll get to in a minute, because at the moment everything's locked there. But if you have got the code, you will unlock that page. It's just a bonus page of information for signing up for the newsletter. That's it on the intro and setup. Once you've set that up, you can go to the database, where this is basically your list of clients that you'll meet when going networking. So how does it work? Very simple. It looks like any other database. It's fairly straightforward. Business name, person's name, landline, mobile, website, email, address line 123, town, city, postcode. Category 1 and Category 2, I'll get to it in a minute. Networking sources, that's where you select one of those networking groups that you've entered. VIP, if they are a VIP person, you can select VIP. All that does is just gives them priority when you're referring. And then 2 notes at the end. These are notes that will be visible to others. So when you're sending a referral, there'll be a short sentence basically telling you about the person. So you might want to put something in here that's not necessarily relevant to the category. So in other words, if well, actually, before we do that, let's go and have a look at the category 1, category 2, so you know what not to include in that. Category 1 and category 2 are two different categories that that person would fall under when referring. So, for example, I've got mine as custom spreadsheets, and I've also got them as spreadsheets. So you can create two categories per person. Now, the idea obviously is to try and have as fewer categories as possible. You don't want to create a new category for each person, because then when you're looking for someone to refer, you've got to scroll through 2,500 different categories. What you want to do is have as few categories as possible and assign people to that category. So for argument's sake, if you have someone who's accountant, you assign them to accounting. If they do accounting and bookkeeping, you might have them accounting and bookkeeping, because you may have others who only do bookkeeping or others that only do accounting. So you can assign everyone up to two categories. When those categories that I've already assigned myself to are in the category list. If I come and add a new one, so say I add an accounting, then when I go next time, accounting will then be on the list. Now, so whatever you add on will then appear on the list. So the idea is that you wouldn't have accounting and accounts and all three different things. You try and put everyone in the accounting category under one header. So when you're looking for people and you select accounting, it brings up anybody who's actually related to that. That's how it works. So I've got myself under custom spreadsheets. And spreadsheets, you might not do that. You may only just have, you might actually just have one category of spreadsheets, and maybe you put the other category as software, for example, and then when you go through next time, you might have a software developer who just does program software, or whatever the case might be. So you can categorize how you want to, and each person can be in up to two categories. You don't have to use both. You can just use one if you want, but I would suggest having them in at least one, because what that would mean is when I'm looking later on and someone says, do you know someone who makes spreadsheets? And I go through my list of categories, I'll see spreadsheets, I'll click it, and then everyone who's assigned to that spreadsheets category will pop up. That's how that works. So now the notes, these notes are visible to others. So what you may do, for example, is if you have someone, let's say, who's a virtual assistant, and you put in that they're a virtual assistant and you put them under administration or something like that, but that virtual assistant maybe specializes in diary management, then you can put in the notes specializes in diary management or something along those lines. But just bear in mind, whatever you put in these notes will show up on the referral sheet that you could potentially send to the person you're referring. So this is something you would want to notify the other person about. This column is something that's visible to you. So when you refer it, the person, it gives you those notes, but it doesn't go on to the other person. So for argument's sake, if you meet someone at a networking event and you had a good chat about the football, or you thought they were a plonker, or you thought they were really nice, or whatever the case might be, you can put those notes in here to remind you of who it was, something about them that you're not necessarily going to tell the person that you're referring them to. So these notes are visible to the other person, these notes are not. And that's basically your database. If you put in that line of information for each person that you meet when you get back, using their business cards, that kind of thing, you will obviously slowly, surely grow this database. You can sort by business name or personal name into alphabetical order. You can use any of these sort functions at the top. But keep the database up to date, and obviously remove anyone you don't want to refer, keep anyone else on there that you do. And if you keep that up to date, the rest of these pages pretty much take care of themselves. So what is the category search? The category search is exactly what I spoke about earlier. When you come now and you say, someone phones you up and says, do you know someone who makes spreadsheets? And you click on your downward arrow and you see spreadsheets and you go, oh yes, because these will all be in alphabetical order. You click on spreadsheets and it'll pull up a list of everybody who does spreadsheets. Now I'm the only one on the database, so that's the only one that shows up so far. But if there were more, they would show up, VIP obviously towards the top. It shows you what information you've got. So if someone phones you up, for example, and says, do you know someone who does spreadsheets, I've got an urgent problem, I need to phone them straight away, you can click on it and it'll show you all those who have a phone number, all you've got an email for, all people you've got a website for. So you can see what information you've got of theirs, and you can see if they're a VIP. It shows you where they're based as well, in case someone says, do you have a spreadsheet guy in Beckenham, or do you have a spreadsheet guy in Newcastle? Or no, this guy's nowhere near there. that kind of thing, and it shows you where you met them. This will then be your referral category search. So you do it, you search for a category, and up pop the people. Now you want to actually send that person something. So instead of sending them an email going, oh yes, I know Richard Sumner, typing it all up, what you can do is you can then click on the referral sheet. Now there's the business name, Spreadsheet Solutions. If I click on the referral sheet, it will bring through everybody, that's all businesses that are on that category list. So there's only one. If I'd gone back to the intro and setup tab and changed this category list, search page list to complete list, then it would show me everybody on the database. So that's why I made that selection. So it only shows me the people in the category search. I select Spreadsheet Solutions. There are all my details. You can simply go to File, Save a Copy, and you can save that as a PDF. And if you save it as a PDF, I'm not going to do it now, but if you save as a PDF, if we go to View and Page Break, you'll see that page there will save as a PDF. And then you can just simply send that PDF. In fact, if you have a look, it says company name, person name. It says Richard. They're the notes that you put in. Richard uses Excel to create affordable custom business software for all. Those are the notes that you said are visible. It says kind regards. Now that says my name because I put my name in, but that would actually say your name and your company name. So it saves as a nice PDF that you can then send to the person who's asked you for a referral. It gives all their details. You don't have to retype everything up again. And then if you want to, if you're not using the statistics page, if you haven't signed up for the newsletter and you're not interested in knowing about referrals you've made, that's fine. You don't have to fill this next section in. But if you do want to, what you can then do is you can come here. You can say, what's the date today actually? 13th of March. Referred business, Spreadsheet Solutions. Referred to Mr. Client. Referred business, client business, and then if you want to put some notes or whatever the case might be, and then it'll show on your statistics. Now it's not showing at the moment because I haven't put the code in, so I'm going to go away, put the code in, and I'll be back again in a second. All right, I'm back again and I put the code in, and now you can see number of contacts, number of categories, number of VIPs, your networking group, and how many number of contacts per networking group. You've got your 10 most represented categories. So in other words, the different kinds of categories that you created and who you know that you have the most contacts for the categories. Here you can have a look at the number of contacts based on available data, and you can see how much of your database you've used. I've still got loads available. Then you can scroll down. You can see your top 10 most referred people, top 10 most referred businesses. You can also scroll down. The reason why I've separated people and businesses is because you may have a few people all from one business. So some people will have a business and they'll have reps all over the place, and you might meet 5 or 6 people from that particular business. That's why I've done it like that. Monthly referrals by source in the last 6 months, so you can see which networking group have done the most referrals over the last 6 months. And you can see your top 10 most referred sources, so which source has been referred, and your top 10 most referred categories. It's really just a little bit of data just to kind of give you some information about the referrals that you've been making, that kind of thing. It's possibly not life-changing, but it might be interesting to know. And if you like that, you just have to fill this information every time you make a referral, and obviously just go and get that code from the newsletter when you sign up. So I hope that that's it. I hope that that is helpful. If you are a networker and you go and collect all this people's information when you go networking and you come home with a whole bunch of business cards like I do, you may find this extremely useful. I use this personally, and I found it to be very useful. And yeah, if that's you, I hope that this really helps you. So yeah, thank you very much. Goodbye.